Hello and welcome. Have you been told you need thousands of pounds to start your property investment journey? If you have been told, I was in the exact position as you were a few years ago. I was told I need a ridiculous amount of money to actually start my property investment journey. Some people tell me I need £50,000. Other people told me I need £100,000 so to literally start my investment journey. I just want to break that barrier for you today. If you don't know about this, you don't need £50,000 to start property investment. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how you could use £5,000 to generate lots of money in investing in properties. In this short video, I'm going to share how you could use £5,000, yes, only £5,000 to generate £600 per calendar month from that investment. So you don't need that £50,000, you don't need the £60,000, you don't even need the £100,000 that they've told us we need to start our property investment journey, because that literally held me back for so many years. So I'm going to share that with you today. Put it in a silver platter so you see exactly how much money you could make from your £5,000 investment. You would discover how thousands of people virtually using this strategy to make ridiculous money out of the property business. And they've realized that they don't need that 60,000, they don't need that 50,000 to actually start their property investment journey. So again, this is what I'm going to be introducing to you in this video. Before we get going, if you like this video or any of my videos, don't forget to hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more of this amazing tutorial. As I said, before I start my investment journey, I was told I needed lots of money to actually start the investment journey, only to find out I don't really need all that 50,000 or 60,000 they've been banging about. In some occasions, I don't even need money. All I needed basically to know what are the strategies investors are taking advantage of to have ridiculous return on investment. And then I bumped into this strategy called rent-to-rent strategy. Rent-to-rent is the process by which you, an investor, would find a struggling landlord who could not rent their property out for whatever reason, either because they're busy, they're actually struggling, they don't know what the market is doing at the moment. So whatever reason, they've not been able to rent that property out. So what you would then do, you can approach that landlord as an experienced investor and tell them you can take on their property for long term, probably maybe 3 or 4 years or 3 or 5 years, and you provide them with that guaranteed rent, saying if I take on your property, I will give you the guaranteed rent. You would also tell them you will include free repair and maintenance, and then you would also manage the property free for them as well. So that way they feel safe and secure because they're having that residual income coming in every single month without being worried that property not being let or being vacant or looking after that property. As an investor then, what you will then do, suppose that property, it was a 4-bedroom house, 2 reception rooms. You will then take that property, right, convert one of the reception rooms as a bedroom, so that gives you 5 lettable rooms. So as an investor then, what you will then do, you will rent that property in room by room basis to working professionals, to students, to workers, whoever those people may be, or whoever your target market is. The key here is to rent the property room by room basis instead of renting it to a family. So because we're going out there to actually help the landlord to actually rent that property out, so because we're adding value to that property, we would go and sit with the landlord and find what their pain points are and find a way how we could resolve those issues and then get that property at a discount. Okay, we get the rent at a discount. Suppose the landlord asks us to pay £1,200 per calendar month to get the property. We can go to the landlord and say, listen, we're taking on your property on a guaranteed rent basis. We're going to refurnish the property. We're going to paint and decorate. We're going to make it really nice. Plus, when we may apply for HMO license, or we may be able to let the property on a multi-let basis. The key you need to understand here, basically, you need to negotiate that rent. Very important. If you cannot negotiate the rent, there's no point taking on that property, because especially if the rent is high, you may not be able to make profit. And when 1 bedroom goes empty, you literally have to subsidize that property. That's the reason why I'm saying you have to negotiate, especially if you've only got £5,000 and you want to make that £5,000 work a lot harder for you. You want to actually get that property at discount. Okay, suppose then we went to the landlord, we spoke to the landlord, we negotiated with the landlord and told them the values that we were adding to them and their property, and the landlord then happy for us to take on that property at £1,000 per calendar month. Okay, so this is the rent we pay the landlord every single month. So if the landlord agrees to that, but before we go to that figure, before we get to that figure, we would have done our due diligence to learn how much people are paying for double bedrooms or single bedroom in that specific area. Again, you have to know the area, you have to know where that property would be suitable for this sort of strategy we are doing. Suppose now we've seen that property is suitable location, is absolutely amazing, it literally hits all the golden rules. I have my golden rules. I do not take property that doesn't hit those golden rules, and we're ensuring that that property hits all those golden rules, and we're able to rent that property room by room basis. Suppose we're renting each room for £450. So £450 is what our tenant would pay us for renting a bedroom within that property. So now we know how much we're going to pay the landlord, and now we know how much people are willing to pay us for renting them that bedroom. And again, this figure I'm assuming here, I'm assuming this 450 to be somewhere in the north of England or South Wales, specifically Cardiff, because if we're talking about London, you're talking about bigger figures. I'm just bringing this example based on real life examples, so it's exactly how we get our deals, how we negotiate our deals. And then 450 is the minimum you could get for one bedroom, for one double bedroom here in Cardiff, Liverpool, Newcastle, etc, etc. So again, assuming we've got that per bedroom, so what we now need to do, we would have analyzed the area, we know whether we're able to rent that property or not, and now we know what our rental income is. We also know how much we will be paying the landlords. And that figure there, £1,000, is very realistic as well if you know how to negotiate to actually get that property, because you're kind of helping the landlord. Looking at that figure, the landlord would be making more money if they were to give that property to an agent or if they were to manage that property themselves, because it takes time to manage the property, it takes time to get the repairs done, it takes time to actually rent the property. So you're literally saving them money, and at the same time you'll be able to rent that property at £450 per calendar month. So let's look at the property now. So suppose then we've secured the property at £1,000 and our rental income is £450 per calendar month per bedroom. So what we now need to do, because we've converted one of the bedroom into another bedroom, that then gives us 5 lettable rooms. 5 lettable rooms in areas like Cardiff or Liverpool would have generated us £2,250 per calendar month. Okay, that's our gross rental income. That's the income we've made from renting the property in room by room basis to working people or professionals. Okay, that's our rental income. So what we now need to consider is our cost. Okay, because we've guaranteed the rents to the landlord, we would have need to pay the landlord £1,000. Okay, £1,000 is the rent we pay to the landlord, and obviously we have utilities here. Gas and electricity would have cost us about £180. Okay, this is us assuming that gas is 90 and electricity is also 90, especially when prices are going up. I've increased that rate slightly. Okay, so again, water, let's assume water then, let's say, because it's a bigger property, and again, I always like to overestimate my expenses to ensure that I'm not really underestimating anything. Let's assume water is about £70, and then after water we have our council tax, and again, council tax would be about £113.33, okay, for that sort of investment property. And then obviously we have our Wi-Fi, and again, Wi-Fi is very, very important. Tenants would live without food, without water, but they cannot live without Wi-Fi. Very important to have a strong Wi-Fi in your property to ensure that that property has actually got the internet and the tenants are able to use it efficiently. So I always invest lots of money on that. So I do that at about £35. Again, £35 will give a really, really good network or broadband speed to allow your client or your tenant to be able to utilize it effectively. And I always do cleaning for my properties. People think I'm crazy, but I like to factor in cleaning, because the reason why I bring in cleaning is because if one of the rooms becomes vacant, if the property is clean and maintained, you can easily re-let that property or that bedroom and have less voids. But if you've not been cleaning the property, tenants are not cleaning, they're not following all the routers, when one of the rooms becomes empty, you will struggle to be able to rent that property. So I always put down £100 as cost of cleaning. Very important to me because I want my properties to be nice and tidy. And I always put aside maintenance as well, because again, maintenance is very important. Should anything goes wrong, then obviously you've got maintenance set aside to actually help you renovate the property or fix whatever repairs you need to fix. Say suppose there's no repairs for a month or a couple of months, then that goes on top of your profit as well. But you need to factor that in to ensure that the deals is watertight and it will generate you profit in whatever situation it is. And also, I like to include my TV license, £13, and then obviously voids. I always factor voids as well, because if there is voids, you want to know whether you're still making profit if you've got voids or not. So, and again, I tend to put 5% on that, 5% on void, 5% of the gross rental income on void. That would be about £112.50. Okay, so that then is included. So what we now do, we literally add all our expenses, here, and we're going to deduct it from the £2,250. So our total expense is £1,743. Okay, this is our total expense. If you add all these figures up, that gives us £1,743 per calendar month for actually keeping that property. Again, I'm rounding the figures here. It's not going to be exactly penny, but I'm just rounding it up. But that's what we would have get as an expense. So if you deduct then this expense from your rental income, that property would have generated you £506 per calendar month. Wow, amazing, right? Imagine securing a property for £5,000, right? You spend £2,000 on rent and deposit, right? And you spend about £3,000 to refurnish the house. Yeah, house. Again, that is only, as I said, £5,000 investment. For that £5,000 investment, instead of literally saving that money in the bank or investing in stock and shares that you never know is going to go up or down, that £5,000 would have generated you £506 every single month. And the benefit of this also, you don't need that £50,000 to even start investing in property, and also you don't even own that property. Again, these are the things investors are doing right now to make massive return on investment. Assuming then you've got this property, you've rented it out, you've got all the tenants in. Now in Wales, you have to make a tenancy of minimum of 12 months basically. So if you've got people living in that property for 12 months, you've vetted them, you've ensured they're a tenant that would pay your rent consistently, they're not going to have any voids, that property would be generating or would have generated you this amount here. You'll be shocked how much money you would have made. You would have made £6,074 a year. Again, from a property that you don't even own, right? It's absolutely unbelievable. And looking at your ROI for this property would have been 121%. Again, that is your money out already. Within 12 months or 9 months, you would have got your £5,000 back. So what you would do, you go and get another rental rent property. Again, will generate you £6,000. You go and get another rental rent property. That will generate you £6,000. If you add that, imagine you've got 6 of these, you are on £18,000 a year. Some of us, this £18,000 is our financial freedom figure. It's the figure that allows us to quit our job and concentrate in value-added tasks, because we're helping our landlords, we're guaranteeing them their rent, and we're also helping tenants who are struggling to actually get a flat, get a bedroom and rent it, and we're making money out of that. And the landlords would absolutely love you, especially if you're looking after their properties, you're paying their rent consistently, you're not having any issue with the property, and you're not complaining a lot. They would love you, and guess what? They will refer you to other landlords, as well as give you all their properties if they had it. I've got a landlord, I started with 1 property. Within a year, I had all 8 of his properties by doing this, because he realized I'm adding value to him. He doesn't need to worry about repairs, he doesn't need to worry about maintenance, he doesn't worry about managing the property. And most importantly, he doesn't need to worry about having voids that the property is not being rented. So again, these are the things you could do to add significant value to you, your investor, and the tenant. And you can see here, it's all a win-win resolution. If you've been procrastinating, thinking about investing in property, or you thought you needed lots of money, I have literally now explained the whole process to you for you to know that you don't really need the money to start property investing. You only need the knowledge, experience, and someone to guide you, coach you, hold your hand, and help you invest whatever sum of money you have. And I'm running property investment boot camps that I even share how you could do all this without putting any of your money down, because I started my property investment journey with £0 and built it to a multi-million-pound property investment portfolio. And again, by doing these strategies and also by securing properties by putting literally virtually £0 in those properties. And again, I really hope, if you've been procrastinating, thinking about it, putting it aside, saying, no, it's not the right time, if you have £5,000, try it. Try it and see whether it works for you. If it doesn't work, you can carry on doing what you're doing. But if you want today to be better than yesterday, you need to start thinking about this sort of strategy. Because look at the government now. Look what's happening right now. Prices are going up significantly. Salaries have been stagnating. Nothing is going up. Everything is standstill. Prices are going really, really, really high. If you've got properties like this that are generating you £6,000 a year, it's a good passive or residual income for you and your family. So if you really want to take your property investment to the next level, comment on the link below. Obviously, contact us and we may be able to help you execute strategies like this. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video or any of my videos, hit the like button below, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of these amazing tutorials. And also, I've got lots of these videos that you could literally binge watch in my channel, so you can learn a lot more of how you could make your 5,000 or whatever amount you have to invest in property works a lot more harder for you. If you're interested in buy to let, click on the video above here. If you're interested in looking at rental service accommodation, obviously click on the video on this side. Again, that explains to you all the strategies that you may be interested in.